So welcome to the 1, 2, 3 fighting system. We've already gone through the number 1, so that's one of everything. In other words, that's just one jab, that's one slip, that's one dropping down, step back, that's probably one step to the side. All right, and then we could step out with one step and then one step back in. All right, so one of everything. And now what we're going to try to do is add to your number 2. So this is 2. All right, so we're gonna focus and have a look at how that jab works in motion. All right, so we know that we're going to do your first guard, second, third. We know what this represents. When you back away from your opponent, you're going to be here, hands here. All right, in the peekaboo style. All right, just getting comfortable. As we get closer or your opponent comes closer, you know you're going to have to bring your hands up a little bit more. Hopefully that head is moving. And then we're going to bring the hands up as we get even closer. So we're right in the pocket, right here. You want to make sure that your hands are protecting you. If they're up here, tighten up. And of course, because you're here in the pocket, you're going to be throwing your punches like this. You want to make sure that you are behind your shield. All right, so let's get onto the basics of this. All right, what we want to try to do is we're going to add up all of these numbers now. We've gone from 1, this is now 2, and we're going to start off with your jab. We're in the orthodox stance right now. All right, so if you're a southpaw, you'll be standing the opposite way. All right, now what tends to happen is a lot of people do ask, if I go with my leading hand as my right hand, do I move to my left? And of course, you will indeed move to your left in some cases, because you will generally be fighting that large population of orthodox fighters. But for 99.9% of the time, you obviously don't want to follow what the orthodox fighter is doing, although we know that that will occur. But what you want to try to do is take your man out to your right. You got it? You want to be moving to your right when you are southpaw. All right? So remember, as you're here like this, you know, you're moving and slipping your head, stepping back. All right? And we're going to look at that double. We're going to go back to the orthodox stance, okay? I myself happen to be right-handed, and so that's going to be my rear hand, okay? So we talked about some of the punching and what it is that you're doing to create that length with your single punch. Today we're going to work on the double and how we move with that, all right? So there are different things that you're going to be doing with your body. I call it the impulse. And the impulse is feeling the right time to throw your punches, all right? The right time to throw off those two jabs, all right? So, got it? And as you move, you want to be moving out to your left. You're not always going to be doing that because it depends on the circumstance or the situation. Sometimes, of course, what you're going to do is, as a variable, you're going to be pushing your opponent backward. All right, you're pushing back, especially if you've got a heavy punch. All right, so you're going to be going pop, pushing him backwards. But for the most part, as you're in the battle, feeling out your opponent, you want to take up those angles. All right, moving out to your left. Now I'm going to show you some variations on how we throw the punches, because this is, after all, about keeping fit. So if we want to get into a little bit of a rocking motion, all right, rocking motion, and throwing that double jab out. All right, snapping, popping the double jab, pop, there we go, beautiful, moving, there we go, keep rocking and pop, pop, there we go. Now, one thing I do want to emphasize on is the breathing. So a lot of people, what tends to happen is when they start boxing for the first time, and generally in many cases when they're doing weights, a lot of people are inclined to hold their breath, which is quite remarkable when you think about it. What tends to happen is as you see fighters, you'll always hear like a grunt, like a t, t, or a t, t, all right, letting out that air, okay? You're gonna obviously want to make sure that you're always breathing, which is what gives you that engine to keep going, all right? So we don't want to hold our breath. We don't want to be, okay? We want to make sure that you always let out that exhale wherever possible. And it doesn't matter if you want to do or a sit, all right? It's entirely your choice, but let that air out. Take good gulps of breath and a good intake of air into your lungs, and you're going to be good to go, all right? Now let's go again. So we're going to go with that turning. And of course, if you're unaware and you missed the first part of what I was showing you in regards to these jabs, what we want to try to do is, of course, is as we throw in the peekaboo style, what I love on that impulse is the way that we turn the key. So as you push, as you step in, you're going to push and turn the key, all right? Got it? And as one hand is working, the other hand is protecting. If I throw that right hand, all right, one hand is working, one hand is working, one hand is protecting at all times, all right? It's very tricky to do, not as easy as it might appear, all right? But this is something I believe you really have to drill, you have to shadow, you have to work on, because of course what you don't want is hands down here and be fighting with your head and your chin up in the air like this, all right? You want to bring that chin down, get in behind your shield, behind the guard, all right? And we want to move, and as we throw, we're going to step in, step out. We're going to step in and step out, but we're going to go for the double, and the double looks like this. We're going to straight out. Take that other angle. Settle. You can settle back and open up just to draw your opponent to you. And then as soon as they come forward, you want to step back in, ready to go. And there's your double. You can shrink yourself down. You can turn to the side and throw your punches on a step. Now, again, something that people ask is, why is it that you need to step with your punches? And of course, we know that as you step with your punches, it maximizes the threat of the punch, all right? We also know that if we get back to the footwork, giving you the perfect rhythm on your step and punch, we might go one single and step with it at the same time. If we do a double, it's going to be double step, all right? And of course, naturally, if it's three, it's going to be 2, 3, all right? Got it? So always step with your punch. Great thing to work on with your rhythm and your cadence is that step on your punch. And we're going to go for that double, which is going to be tuck, da, da. Keep that head moving. So as you can see, we've now done those jabs, and again, as I explained earlier on, is that, you can, look, we're not going to be taking anybody here necessarily to a world championship anytime soon. This is for your fitness, all right? This is for your conditioning. And as you can see, I myself am a little bit out of breath, which is a bloody good thing, all right? That's exactly what we're after, all right? Get that anaerobic fitness up there, get that high energy, high explosive footwork, right? And just from using, you'll be amazed at what you will get out of this if you're doing this every day for about 30 minutes every day. And as you get to 30 minutes, challenge yourself. You might go from 15 minutes of a workout every day to 30 minutes. Once you get to 30 minutes, you want to get in the mindset of thinking, right, can I get up to another 15-minute interval? Get up to 45 minutes. And then, of course, naturally, you get up to a 60-minute workout. All right, and you can obviously work out within of those 15-minute intervals what to do, whether it's jump roping first, all right, and then going on to your shadow boxing for the next 15 minutes. And of course, in case anybody out there is unfamiliar with your shadow boxing, all you're doing is just going through a little workout of your movement, all right? We're working on that double jab, so we want to make sure that we do this as part of our strategy when we're working. We might go from the single, there it is, right? We might go to the double now, there we go, and turning with your opponent, keeping that hand up, there we go with the single, and then we go, and then we go with your double, single, throwing out to the side. All right, so that's your shadow boxing. And when you get accustomed to that routine, you will obviously see your fitness level starting to make jumps. And of course, why do people pick this sport? As you know, and you're very aware that doing 12 rounds of boxing, I'm sure that everyone here watched boxing. And if you haven't, if you're a newcomer, you've never watched boxing, but it's something that you think you'd like to have a go at, I would suggest you go and look at the work, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this particular sport, all right? We know that 3 minutes of a round, of course, in amateur boxing, that might be 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. But the simple fact of the matter is that you are doing some serious leg work, all right? Three minutes might seem like 10 miles or 10-kilometer run. It is unbelievable for your fitness levels, which you can never deny, no matter which fighter you might have an issue with, whether you think that, of course, all fighters are arrogant to one extent or another, and in many cases can be very narcissistic, which is understandable, especially if you come from the wrong side of the tracks, or whatever your environment might have been. You know, this is what you've chosen to either, get your discipline up, and you have to believe in yourself, all right? It's not like you may have a team behind the scenes, but when you go out there, it is you, yourself, and you. Your team, will, of course, will always be there, but the bottom line is that in a sport like this, where it is, you working your butt off, you literally having the drive, you've got to understand that these people, it is incredible what they do. And again, if you have a villain or someone that you don't particularly like, always try to sort of like put yourself in the shoes of that individual. You may not like them, and then there's someone that you may indeed love. But always put yourself in their shoes. And doing this for try doing this for a month and see what it is that these people put their bodies through just to either drop weight, to hit the weight right on the money. Believe me, it is pretty tough stuff. I'm sure we would all agree on that. Now, let's get back to this. All right, so now what we're going to do, when you are formulating and creating your idea about